Hi, my name is Jamie, and this is video number 3 in a series of videos that I'm doing about my experiences with astral projection, lucid dreaming, and out-of-body experiences. So a little recap, we left off where I met my spirit guides pretty dramatically, and if it isn't fairly obvious, I spent the next probably 2 or 3 months just trying to recreate that experience, which was a lot of fun. I would get lucid and then kind of, say, I want to meet my spirit guides, I want to meet my spirit guides, and really just brace myself. Okay, brace yourself, don't open open your eyes, make sure you look at them this time. And I had a lot of really interesting experiences with that. And it was really great, and I can say wholeheartedly that I've talked to my guides multiple times, and it's been wonderful. But the story for today is really what I wanted to talk about, was the first time that I projected to a different location. And if you have practiced this before, projecting to a different location can, in a lot of ways, change your life as well. With the capabilities of this is just phenomenal. And so on the one hand, I was working on a technique where you would just basically become lucid in a dream and then say, I want to project, I want to project. For me, this is not as successful. It's difficult. It feels almost like what it would feel like to move from the bottom of a swimming pool to the top in one shot. It's just not as effective, in my opinion, or at least in my experiences. So I was also working on a technique that's called the wild technique, and that's the wake-induced lucid dream technique. And this one is admittedly much, much harder, very hard, but the results are staggeringly different. So what I did was I would lay down and try to go to sleep, but still stay awake. And on this occasion, I was successful. I moved into visions. I could see, I saw very vividly a chandelier. And at that point, I realized I'm in a dream. I can try to project from here. And I did. And I said, I want to project, I want to project. And sure enough, the vibrations at this point had become more of like a light tingling. The jet engine had stopped. And so the light tingling happened, and I woke up in a room. And the experience I still get overwhelmed thinking about it, because I can only assure you that I was in a room. And I was laying on a bed, and it was a beautiful room. There was stained glass windows, and there was beautiful white sheets, and it was lovely. I always compare it almost to what I would think a monastery might look like. And so I'm trying to remain calm. I had kind of practiced staying calm during these experiences. So I did a pretty good job at staying calm. So I stayed there for a good beat. But the thing is that I couldn't move. Although I could move, my arms were just very, very heavy, and my legs were heavy, and it was almost like moving through honey. It took a lot of effort to move, and so I'm trying to move on the bed, kind of getting my bearings. I decided just to throw myself right off the bed, and that's when I heard a voice in the background say, something along the lines of, "She's here," and then kind of coming down maybe a hallway or something. And we had reached the peak of my fear. And I'm sad to say that I forced my eyes open and I left that particular experience, but it was very moving. And so, and after that, it was interesting, because it's almost like when you start projecting, my ears had started to change. And I just wanted to mention this part of it, because I started to hear things in waking life that weren't necessarily there. So one great example is that and this happened on a number of occasions, I would be laying in bed, kind of half awake, half asleep, mostly awake, kind of dragging my feet before I go to work. And I'd hear my husband snoring, and I would roll over many times and he wasn't there. Also, I would hear radio. I would hear like music from the radio. I remember very vividly I heard a baseball game being announced, and I just sat in bed and laid in bed and listened to this baseball game being announced. So in my opinion, and at least in my experience, these practices can very quickly open you up in this realm as well. So that's my story for video number 3, and please subscribe if you'd like to hear them more, and thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.